Welcome to The Truth of the Matter Is with Mary and Pam.
We are so excited to have you here today with us. There are so many things going on in the world today that we can talk about, and we are here to hopefully inform you and get you enlightened on things that will benefit you while in the community.
Absolutely, and we hope that not only will we be talking to the local people, that we will we're hopeful that we will be following nationally, so that we can make people aware of just what a crucial time we are in, and those things that we need to talk about in our community to make sure that people are getting out there and voting in this election, and that they're being informed about what they're voting for.
Right. And we are so excited today. You know, today is an exciting day because we can reflect on what happened yesterday.
Absolutely.
With the Biden administration, and the fact that all of those people that have been incarcerated as hostages in places like Russia and all that they were freed. And we're excited about that.
That is just an accomplishment, and that's another kudos for President Biden, who I give him all the praise, because he did a wonderful job for our community and for the nation as a whole, and we will be indebted to him forever for that. We are so proud of the fact that he was able to see in Kamala Harris the leadership skills that she has and to bring to the nation, and the nation has just caught on fire with her.
Exactly.
And we're just excited to be a part of it.
Oh yeah, and they've really embraced her, and she played a major role too in through Germany, her interaction in Germany with bringing those hostages home, and so we have to give them credit where credit is due.
Absolutely.
For the work they did, because they've been, a lot of people are saying, well, this just happened, and why did it happen now? But this has been in the making for months.
Those things just
prior
don't happen.
to.
They just don't happen that way.
Well, they were working on it before he stepped down, before he realized he was not going to be a candidate. This was just something that was from his heart and his mindset as to the person. It would attest to as the person that he is. And with that and the trust that we have had in him over the years because of the work that he has done, then we know that when he decided to step down so that Kamala could be the next presidential candidate, it was a very bold move. It was a very unselfish move, courageous, and we should know that since we've trusted him so much, that he did what he thought would be in the best interest of the country, and backing who he thinks would be one of the best presidents at this time.
I just hope that the African American people, everybody, he was for everybody, but I hope that the African American people will realize that those steps that he went to make sure that everybody is included.
Everyone.
And that's what he fought for. He is a family man.
Yes.
I love that he is a family man. He's concerned about people and their families and what happened with their family. And he is concerned about the country. And he is particularly, and his thing in pushing Kamala out there, I think, was the fact that he knew that we were on the brink of losing our democracy.
Right.
And he tried to put somebody in place that he knew would work and do everything they could to keep our democracy stable.
Right. And in the African American community, we can't do anything but give him credit where credit is due, because just like with the colleges, all of the money and things that have been put in those black colleges, and then he went and started reducing those student loan debts.
That more had the courts not stopped.
Right. He tried to do even more, and we all know that it is not equal footing when African American students get out of school, because we get out of school with a lot of debt, and even if we do get a good job, that debt hangs over our head, so we're still not on a level playing field when we go out after we've graduated. And he was trying to do something to eliminate that, to get us on that same playing field. And then he also, as giving credit where credit is due, not only did he do that for the schools, he worked to make sure that there were programs that were put in place so that we weren't discriminated against. And all those affirmative action programs and things that he has worked on and tried to invest in, those are things that if we do not get Kamala in, that we had the chance of losing. Through that Project 2020.
And he has worked so hard. The country has become so divisive that he has worked so hard to bring, and he says it all of the time, that if America work together, put their heads together, we can do anything.
Do anything.
We can, and he believes in God as we do.
Yes.
And we know that we have to have his intervention for us to do whatever we did. And one of the things that, we're talking about issues, we're not just necessarily talking about people here, but, there's certainly people intricately involved in how our lives will play out from now on in these United States. And one of the things that I think is pretty cute, and I'm going to quote it, that came from the governor, she's deceased now, of Georgia, and she says that Donald Trump was born on third base, and he thinks he hit a triple. I thought that was too cute to pass up.
That is.
And so I'm just saying that we need people who are sensitive to the needs of the people in our country, and everybody was not born with a silver spoon in their mouth. So we need to come up with ways in which that we become inclusive of all people into our society, so that people can be proud of themselves, proud of what they have been able to do for their children, and bringing them into a different kind of an economy, a different kind of living. And as Kamala says, that not just to get by, but to be able to move up, Well, and so those are things that's the kind of leadership that we need to be guiding us, right now. And we have to be brought back together, because, Bob tells together we stand, divided we fall. And if we are not together in this country, we cannot make this country become what it needs to be and what it's capable of becoming.
And I think that what people don't realize in the Black community, and not just in the Black community, but in lower economic areas in the community, that most people don't want a handout. They want a helping hand up. And so people have to stop looking at people that are in despair, in a situation, and think they're just looking for a handout. They just want to get something for nothing. They want to get something for free. Most of the time, the majority of the time, they're not wanting to get something for free. They're just wanting to get something to get them started, something to get them their foot in the door, something. And, we have to be careful too, because statistically speaking, a lot of people think that that's just in the African American community.
It's not.
And it's not. Actually, the African American community is one of the lowest areas to get these handouts. There's a lot of other places where the money is going that's not in the African American community by a large number. And so people don't realize that. So we have to be careful when we look at that and realize that it's not a handout, that it's a helping hand up, and that we need to, in order for this country to grow, we need to grow together. And we do need to grow from the bottom up, from the middle up. We don't need to let it trickle down, because a lot of the tax breaks and things that the Republican Party is trying to put in place will cause us to have a hard time going to the grocery store, paying our bills, while it will be a great tax break for those that actually can afford to pay the tax.
And one of the times when during the time, I'm a retired nurse, and one of the nurses said to me, Mary, you make the same, I don't understand, why the people that like you, she said, make the same money as I do, maybe a little bit more, and so why would you be worse off than me? And I said, because you can't. You and I didn't start at the same starting line.
Exactly.
We didn't start at the same. And I said to the students, and I used to lecture to Dr. Watson's class, political class at the University of Missouri every year. And so I would tell them, some of your grandparents, if you've inherited something. You inherited, some of your family members have inherited something, whether it was land or whether it was money. And so one of the students said, I never inherited anything when I was talking to them. And I said, did your mom and dad, your grandparents own their home? He said, yeah. I said, when they died, because he had indicated that they had passed on. I said, when they died, where did their possessions go to? Your mama, your daddy, your aunt, your uncle, And so they were able to do better, to be able to pass that do better on to you.
Right.
And so that put you ahead of me. And when people die in our community, many times we're doing a GoFundMe or a pass the hat to help get people buried. And then some people will say, why didn't they take out an insurance policy? Some of those people are paying the last penny they have to pay for their bills, for their water and their lights and their gas and that sort of thing. And they don't feel like they have the luxury of taking, whether it's $25 or $50 a month. That's money they don't have.
Right.
And and so people have to realize that some people living from paychecks, and Lord, please, just Friday's the first, please just let me get to Friday. There are so many of those people in our community that are like that. And so they can't necessarily, why we think that $25 or $50 a month is not a lot to pay for insurance to assure that you are buried. And I will give it, I remember my mother, we are from Mississippi to begin with, and they used to have, like the funeral directors of insurance, they had people come around every month. And my mother, I remember the container that she had that money in, that she saved to drop in there so that she could pay that insurance person that came around every month for so that if when she and daddy or one of us died, that there would be that money to get to the undertakers, and that's how that they used to, just drop that little money in there to save it, because they realize, and that's one of the things that we have to pass along to our young people. If it's just a tidbit, if you just do a tidbit, just keep doing a tidbit, it'll grow into something. By the time you're 50 years old.
Right. And so we know that we need to as a community. Those are the kind of things that we're hoping that we'll be able to help educate individuals on, so that you'll know that this is something that is important to your family and doable. Yes. And so we're excited to be able to bring that to the community. We also one of the things that I think right now, aside with from the elections and things, are the what do they call them? The nine. The divine nine. I think it is so. It is. I think it is so important and so incredible and so fascinating, the way these organizations have come together, and they're out working, and they're working the grounds.
Yes.
And they said they're going to hit areas that nobody else is hitting, and they played a major role in the last election. And I do believe they're going to play a major role in this election. So I'm so excited that all of the fraternities and sororities, we watch them compete when they have step shows and things in a friendly, fun manner. And now they're taking it to the streets, and they're going to get out the vote. And so I'm so excited. And I think it's the fire that has been lit with having Kamala run.
But even before that, people were listening to the fact that our country was heading toward a dictatorship.
Yes.
And they knew that we had to get out there and stop that.
Right.
That we have to get out there and stop that, and the only way, and the people have to stop it. the only way that we can stop it is to get our people registered and voting for those people who will live by those laws that allow our democracy. Because even when the Constitution was put into place, and they determined how great it is if you can keep it, if you can keep it. And so that we have to realize that there will always be people that's trying to bring it down. And we had so much love for our country here until a couple of 3 years ago, when to this January 6th stuff happened. We had so much love for our country that people dare not to do anything to discredit the country and to hurt the country. And that's not something has happened, and that is not still the case anymore. And we have to bring that back.
We have to bring it back, and we have to make sure that we don't make the ugliness a norm,
right.
Because that's what's happening is that it's becoming normal for politicians to use words that they used to. Now they say everything, and so we have to make that not a norm. It used to be that we could tell our kids, come and watch this. This person is on and that person is on. They were in a political position, and now you're not sure you want them to hear what's coming out of their mouth because it's so foul, and it's becoming a norm. And it used to be that we could have the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, and it was like a friendly fight. I believe this, you believe that. We're not gonna get it, but we can agree to disagree, and let's find a mutual ground, and let's make a bill to pass through that mutual ground. And now it's tit for tat. You want this, so I don't want it. You want this, so I don't want it.
Right.
And so we cannot get together and find mutual ground, which is causing the government to be a little stagnant. And so many things can be done, and so many people can be helped, and we have streets that can be repaired, and so much stuff can be done if we would just stop looking and saying, if you want it, I don't. And if you want it, I don't. And all of this we know stems from when Trump ran and became president the first time, and then lost the second time, could not deal with the loss. And so what he did was he just reveled up individuals by telling them that everything was fake, the news was fake, the laws were fake.
People ask me how in the world that people can follow all of this rhetoric, what's going on. And I remind them that, remember Jim Jones? He told these people to kill themselves rather than let the government come in there and try to fix things. When the United States people were going in to try to get those people out, and parents and families were trying to get their children out of that area whose mind had been infested, and those people did that. We wonder how in the world do you give up your mind? How in the world do these people get into your head to the degree that they can make you want to do so many wrong things?
Well, I think one of the things with Donald Trump is that he, if you notice when he speaks, he says things 3 times. He wants to make sure that it's embedded. And so he says things, and he is very good at talking to people that he think have a weakness. He will talk down and over them, and a lot of times they're saying yes to something that they don't understand is going to affect them in a negative way, because what he has taught is that hate is more important than anything, and so he brings that into the mix. So these individuals have hidden prejudices, and some have just outright prejudices.
And then one of
that
the things
they have that causes them to want to, I've been down so long, and because I'm down, it's your fault, and it's your fault because you're a black person, and they gave you this or they did this to level the field, and it didn't work for me. That's where all of this stems from, and he plays on that. He puts that into the mindset.
But it's not individually him. It's one of the things that people have to really have to catch hold to, of the fact that when you start thinking about the people, the rich, the millionaires, the billionaires, etc., they own the job. They tell their employees what to think, how to how to move through society, and all that. These people are afraid of their job.
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of their employers, who are so powerful that they can go after their mama, their daddy, their family. All of that, we don't talk about that as much as we ought to, because all of those people feel that they are affected by these people that's got all of this money and that they control them, and that so they are afraid many times. They have homes, they have children in school, and they have all, so they become afraid of what can happen to their family members. And so that all of that, we have to find a way to counteract all of that by saying that you can make a difference when you vote. You can make a difference. You can turn those things around. If you start looking at those rich people and saying that we are going to hold you accountable also. We're going to hold you accountable.
Right.
And have the society to get together and really hold them accountable. Because with the civil rights movement in the 60s, the reason why I work as hard as I work, because I remember in the 60s, I remember those kids getting on that bus, those college kids getting on that bus and riding down to Mississippi, and I remember them bombing the bus. And I remember the fact that the people just kept coming. They didn't stop coming. They thought that it was important enough that the civil rights laws be changed, that they kept coming. Mm-hmm. And that's what we have to do as far as our democracy is concerned right now. We have to show the people that our democracy is so important to us, that it is important that they keep coming. Right. And yes, some of them had to give up their lives, mm-hmm. For the freedom that we now experience, and I cherish that. Right. And that's why I feel I owe so much. Right. Because the people that came along in the 60s they know that they may get the Klan knocking at their door, dragging their husbands, their sons out and killing them,
and that's why it's so important that we look at Project 2025, mm-hmm. because one of the things that is trying to do is ban mm-hmm. Black history books, any Black books that have to deal with slavery, any Black books that have to deal with history of African Americans. This is part of what that project is. They want to ban that. Man. And we all know that they don't want African Americans to know the struggle and the fight that was put forth for us to be able to have the liberties that we have now. And we're still not on the same playing field. We're not where we used to be, but they want to take all of what we've gained back, so that we're not even where we are. Just imagine our society without laws dealing with discrimination. Just imagine our schools without laws saying that there has to be a certain number of grants and things that are given to low-income people. Just imagine the way this world would be with Black people going on jobs, mm-hmm. and people being able to say or do anything, and you can't say they're discriminating against you, because that word is going to be a dirty word according to mm-hmm. Project 29. Absolutely. That word is a word that can cause you to be incarcerated, right, if you read Project 2025. And so this is it's going to be very, very important for us to get out and inform people, educate people on how Project 2025 is going to change our lives. And he's wanting to do this day one. He's been given the authority by that authority now to be able to eliminate anyone that opposes him.
Well, they took the Willie Lynch's letter and worked 2025 off that letter, and how he told how to keep African Americans enslaved for over 300 years. And they are trying to hold on to that. They're taking pieces out of that, using it in that 2025 they've updated how they do it, but it's the same principle of how that they plan to and want to enslave minds of people. And Donald Trump has persuaded the minds of evangelical people who are, was my friend was saying that she was watching a TV show about one of the mega churches. And when this person actually said to the people that there were several black folks in there and a church full of white individuals, and this pastor said, if you're a Democrat, get up and get out of here now. Get him out of here. If you're a Democrat, get up and get out of here. He's telling his congregation,
right,
that you either go along with what I believe, right, or you have no place in this church.
Right.
And so he's the pastor that's up preaching that,
right,
kind of rhetoric every Sunday. And they say that this, I don't go to those churches, but they say that this go on all of the time,
right,
within in those churches. And so those people believe that we are still less than.
Right.
There are people that still believe that we are less than, no matter how educated. Look at Kamala, for instance. Here she was a prosecuting attorney, senator,
right,
and all of those kinds of things. And vice president, but she's not capable.
Right. They don't think
supposedly not intelligent.
And her credentials are higher than any of the last 4 presidents.
Oh yeah.
That they've had. Her credentials are higher than that. But yes, they want to look at her as less than. And then now they're on this kick that she doesn't even want to admit that she's black. How crazy, as they say, the word of the week is weird. How weird is that?
Very weird.
That they would want to say that you look at her, you can see she's black. Mm-hmm. She went to a black college. Sorority. She's in a black sorority. Her father is Jamaican, mm-hmm. And her mother is Indian, and so she has the best of both worlds. But I guarantee you, her birth certificate has black, mm-hmm. on it, because we all know that if there's just a little bit of black, you were referred to as black. I don't believe that she's denied her heritage. I believe she's embraced her Indian heritage along with her.
We have watched her long enough to know that she has associated and affiliated as a black person. Okay, she ran on she ran her elections as such, and so I'm not even going to listen to that, and most people aren't going to even entertain that she can say that, and there will be some of the people, the Donald Trump people, that believe what they believe, and you're never going to change their mind, so no use even trying. Right. You don't even need to deal with that.
Right.
Is that I believe in this country, I believe in this city, I believe in this society, that there are more good people than bad people. There's some very bad people, and as you know, one bad apple in a box of apples will spoil them all.
Right.
And so we know that it does not take as much for people to be evil to attract people as it does to try to bring out the good.
And people that, especially people that in their churches, God is love. Mm-hmm. And if you're preaching or teaching anything other than love in the church, there's something wrong with that.
And people, and the Bible says, and I'm not going to get Bible something here, but the Bible said that God will not be mocked. And I feel that the candidates, the Republican candidates, are mocking God.
Yes.
And God is not pleased with that.
No.
He is not pleased with that they are mocking God and his religion. And so,
Well, and we know that Trump has not dedicated himself to the Bible was upside down. When he talks about scriptures, he does not even know how to say scriptures. And And so we know that 2 Corinthians, we know that it was not something that was a part of his life on a regular basis. And so we have to stop allowing people to get in our heads, because that's what he's done. Is he's gotten into the minds of individuals, and he's promoted this hate, and it's so easy to turn around and hate. And he has stood by that, and that's what he looks for, because that's how he wants to build his army. He wants to build it on hate. And back to 2025, what he wants to do is take over the military, so he can use that as a dictator, so that he can use that against people that are protesting. You might get up and say, we're going to protest this bill, and he says, I'm mad, I don't like that, and he can put you in jail, and he can have you killed. And there are no repercussions for him to do such a thing. So you have to really look at what this 2025 stands for and what it means to our society.
And what the Constitution has what the Supreme Court has already done.
And it will be day one. So we have to realize that the election is November 5th. He gets in the office if he were to win January. As of January of 2025, our lives would be totally different.
Absolutely.
Than where it is now. We have to think of our children.
The country,
and
the country will be totally different. Interactions with people will be different. It won't be safe. And he said that he would prosecute Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Liz Cheney, all of those people. Day one, when he comes in, that's exactly what he has promised that he would do. And we know that he will do what those things that he says. People are saying he just says anything. No, he means what he says.
Right.
He's dumb and ignorant, but he means what he says. Okay?
Exactly.
And so our thing is, and I know that we can't resolve everything here today, but we're going to come back and continue to talk about the facts on this show, as long as we're going to give it to people, as long as they will accept it from us, so that we will make sure that we do everything that we can to help make this country be the country that we want it to be, and that it was meant to be. And it was meant to be a country to be inclusive of all people, and to have all people to thrive in this country, and to be one group of people we all have our own thoughts, and we think differently, but that basically, that we all think differently on how we do a job even, and we have that right to do. But when it comes together, I was a surgical nurse, but the whole thing was that when we got through, we were going to have the patient sewed up with a bandage on. And so that's what we have to strive for, is making sure that this country is a country that works for all of us.
And we have to do that by making sure that we get out and get out the vote. We have to let people know the importance of voting, because so many times I hear people say my vote doesn't count and all that. They need to know that their vote does count. And that collectively, is how we win elections. We have to know the issues in order to make good decisions, and we have to really work towards getting our 20 to 40-year-olds involved, because a lot of times I have young people and they look, and I start talking about the 60s, and they were like, you mean this went on when you were born? And I was like, I try to tell people it wasn't that long ago.
And you'll be there before you know it.
And you want to make sure that you'll be in a society where you feel like you mean something, like you matter. When they say Black Lives Matter, we want to make sure that people know we matter. And we can't do that if we don't get out and make a difference in the community. And one of the ways we can do that is by voting. another way we can do that is by getting out and educating.
Mm-hmm.
We need to make sure that we're interacting, that we're educating people to let them know that that things can be worse, but if we do this, things can be better. We're not saying things are perfect, because they're by no means perfect, but we can work together to strive to make it better than where it is today, and then build on that. We cannot do as I think Clarence Thomas did, went to school on Pell Grants and things like that, then gets a good job where it's a lifelong appointment, and then says, you know what, I want to pull the ladder up.
Yes.
I'm going to pull the ladder up now behind me so that nobody else can climb up here and get the type of job that I have. I'm not going to promote student loans, even though I had a student loan. I'm not going to promote those kind of programs that will help another individual to advance, even though those are the programs that I use to get up. And those are the things that we need to do, and we need to work toward, so that while he's pulling the ladder up over here, we can be dropping the ladder down over here, so that individuals can make good choices and get out and get good education, so that they can inspire their siblings and their kids to do the same. Because we all know that if mom and dad have a degree, then children are probably going to have a degree. If mom and dad has a trade, children are probably going to have that trade. And so we set an example, and we can only do that if we get individuals in positions to be able to help somebody, as it says, if I can help somebody,
right?
And that's what we need to do. We need to look out for our fellow, I don't want to say partners, but community. We need to look out for our community as
that's what we're doing. We're standing on the shoulders of giants that went on before us and fought for a better way of life for us. And so every generation has to carry that baton. We have to pass that baton on as we go, so that because we are not at the finish line. And we want to get to the finish line, and we want everybody will need to carry that baton from one generation to the next.
Right.
And so
we know if we fight, we win.
That's it.
If we fight, we win. So we're in a fight.
We're in the fight, and we are going to win.
And we are going to win, but we've got to do the work. We've got to do the work.
And we can't bring it all to you in one session.
No,
but we're going to be back with you, and we're going to be talking with you. We're going to be trying to educate you. We're going to be listening to you, so that we can make this country, this life, a better country for all people.
This is a segment of our show when many people have questions that they might want to have us answer. And so we wanted to take the opportunity, give you, the viewer, opportunity to send in questions to us, and that we will do our best to make sure that you are informed of those answers. And one of the questions that I thought many people might want to know is, how can they get involved with this year's election? Well, one of the things you can do is find a political office in your area that you can go and donate your time, whether it be knocking on doors, answering phones, working on flyers, etc. You can also go through your local churches. You might want to help plan a day where you all can have educational information given to the people at your church, or plan a day during the election period where you have people that will offer rides to the polls, or set up areas to where you can get people to the polls that are outside of the church. So that's a second thing that you can do. You also can offer, if you have a talent, you might be very artistic, or you can make flyers that you can help to get out to individuals that it is time to go vote. You can also look into days and dates, because one of the things we find out is a lot of people don't know where the deadlines are. You can go to your county clerks and find out what are the dates where voter registration ends, when you can get people out and people can do early voting. And so those are some of the things that you can do around in your area. You can also get in touch with organizations such as the League of Women Voters, such as the Mule Skinners, such as that we have in our area, and also When She Votes. Things in your area that have to do with getting out the vote, or informing people on things that will make their community a better place to live. We also know that there's also another question that might be of importance to you, and that is, how can you join the NAACP?
Simply, you can join the NAACP in the city in which you live or work by contacting, for instance, if you live in Columbia, you would need to fill out an application with the Columbia NAACP, and the cost is the regular general membership is just $30 per year. You can't join any organization anywhere for that. There's an opportunity to take out a life membership of $750, and that's a $75 a year payment if you want to go that route, or you can pay it in full. You do not get you get your membership, but you do not get your plaque until your membership is paid in full. If you contact your NAACP organization, we have voter registration campaigns, get out the vote. We go door to door. We hand out pamphlets. We do all kinds of activities that with the community. And if you want to be involved with us, you come see us, and we will get you locked into one of those activities where right now we are in totally in the. You can still register to vote anytime, but you will not be able to vote in the August 6th election. But you would be able, if you registered now, but you would be able to vote in the November election. And we would advise everybody. Our whole thing right now for the NAACP now is to get out the vote. That's going to be where our main emphasis is from now until November election.
So in order for them to join the NAACP, city and state, they can join nationally, or you can join in your local branches if you want to join locally. And also we want to remember the youth.
Okay, yeah, let me just talk about that a little bit more. When I say you can join to join the NAACP, you have to be joining within your geographical area. If you work in an area, you can join. Say, for instance, if you live in Jefferson City, you want to be join, and you work in Columbia, you can join the NAACP in Columbia. But if you only live in Columbia, you can't live in Columbia and join and vote in Jefferson City in AACP. And somebody asked last night, what if you have two memberships? If you have a membership, and I have had two memberships, they used to let us do that when I was state conference president to help a branch that was struggling. And but you can only vote in your particular city or state. You will not be able to vote in two elections. You will not be able to hold office in, say, if you belong to Columbia and Jefferson City, you live in Columbia, you will not be able to hold the office in Jefferson City, etc. So that is very important for you. And we tell people that if you want to be involved, be an officer, etc., you must belong to the local your local organization. And if you send your money international, which I know that there's a mechanism to do that, but we don't encourage it because the NAACP, our membership, a portion of our financial income comes from memberships, as our NAACP National gets so much and the local branch gets so much. So you have to be current with your local branch to be able to participate in elections and officers and that sort of thing. So we encourage you not to take out your membership at the national level I know they make it easy by credit card, etc., but you become a member at large. Members at large cannot vote in any election except the convention. At convention time, you can vote at the convention time.
So if you want to get involved and be involved on your local, you need to get your membership through your local organization. And that way you can work and be involved locally and have an opportunity to be involved in the offices and things like that. And then we have the youth, and I think that's very important because a lot of people don't understand the benefits of starting in NAACP as a young person.
Yeah, and we also, with the NAACP, we also are given a $5,000 scholarship sponsor for each year, and the Harold Warren scholarship that is provided, that is sponsored from us by Millards.
And that's in the local here.
And that's local. And then we have the Mary Ratliff, the Millards scholarship is an amount of $5,000. And then we have the Mary Ratliff annual scholarship that is a $500 scholarship that we hope to up that ante later on, but we are starting, getting it going good with $500 scholarship that we award to students who, and they have to write an essay. We have the guidelines for them to apply for these scholarships, and they have to meet all of those criteria that we have outlined, and they have to get them back in on the date that we specify, no exception to it, and all of the committee's decisions are final.
And that is what happens in the local chapter that we have here. You can have that same thing going on in your area, where the organization there might have scholarships and things. They also have scholarships on the national level. One of the things that's so important as a young person, as you move up through the ranks of the NAACP, they have programs such as AXO and things like that, it kind of gives you an opportunity to show your talents, whether it be mathematics, whether it be poetry, whether it be dance, singing, what have you. You get an opportunity to showcase and compete in those areas and win scholarships. They have a lot of scholarships on the national level, and as you grow up through the ranks, it opens up doors and opportunities for you to be able to get those scholarships within your area. Memberships for young people are $10, just $10 for the year. And I know you can't take a young person to the movie and pay $10, but $10. And then if they want the Crisis magazine with that, then with the membership, it is $15. And so if you have a young person that is not in the NAACP, we encourage you to do that.
$10 membership.
$10 membership. And then if you don't have any children or anything and you just want to sponsor a young person, $10 is all it takes for them. And you go through the same process. Contact your local area. Tell them you want to fill out for a youth membership. And they will give you that information and give you the number to put on so that you are affiliated, or that young person is affiliated with that branch, because we want them to work within that branch. And if they do, as was stated, fill out at large, they won't have that opportunity to vote and be holding office going through the ranks. So we encourage you to get involved with the NAACP, pay your membership, or sponsor a young person. So the truth of the matter is, if you want to be involved, we've given you all the tools necessary.
For local information, you can contact the Columbia MONAACP.org.
If you would like to join nationally, you can contact www.naacp.org.